Hi guys, this is Mariana de Marchi. I'm from Brazil. I'm a CXP and I'm also the head of customer experience in Qualcorp, which is a large organization in the health industry in Brazil. Uh, I am here to talk to you guys about return on creativity. CXPA actually invited me to talk to you guys on this very nice and prestigious CX Day. So I hope you're all having a great day and celebrating with your customers, which are all so important to us, to our businesses, and for us to, you know, contribute to the world. For me, customer experience is a way of giving back, is a way of reminding myself to look into things with another perspective other than my own, and to be more empathetic and to give back to the world, and trying to find solutions to other people. So we're going to talk about this very nice subject today. I'm going to say that English is not my first language, so excuse me for some of my mistakes. It's somewhat hard to record something in a language that's not yours. So I'm so sorry if I make some mistakes, but I'm speaking from my heart, and I hope that the talk today will be very nice for all of us. So I'm going to share a little presentation with you guys about return on creativity. And we're not going to talk about the formula of return on creativity. We're obviously going to talk about something a little bit different, and that makes more sense to us right now, which is why being creative will give you and will add value to your business. So, like I said, my purpose is to change and impact and improve people's lives through amazing experiences. I've been in a few companies throughout my career. I've been working with customer experience for the last 11 years, and for the last 17 years, when I actually started working, I started working in the front line with clients. So for the last 17, 18 years, customer experience, customer service, customer care, customer operations, well, customers were my whole world. And from each experience that I passed, I've learned something about being creative, being more innovative, being more able to look into things with a new perspective, and to allowing things and ideas to build, instead of just saying yes or no to the first idea that comes to mind or comes to the table. So what exactly do we call creativity? Basically, creativity is defined as a tendency to generate or recognize ideas, alternatives, or possibilities that may be useful in solving problems, like we do to our customers, communicating with others, which is very much essential in terms of being a brand. We need to communicate to our people, to our customers, and entertaining ourselves and others, which I can relate to generating that emotional connection for the customer with our brands. And in order to be creative, we need to be able to view things in different ways, with different perspectives, to put ourselves in other people's shoes, and expand our perspectives to find new solutions that we wouldn't think if it was just for ourselves. It's, for me, this is about being empathetic. It's about being able to put empathy in practice, and to generate these new possibilities, new alternatives, new ideas, and being less limited when it comes to finding solutions. Now, creativity has a value. I mean, investing in creativity can bring business success, and that has been proven in a lot of researches. So Adobe actually conducted a research in 2016, and it showed that businesses that do invest in creativity are more likely to foster innovation, have more satisfied customers, be competitive, provide better customer experience, and be financially successful. They found out that only 50% of people believe that they are creative, and only 31% of these 50% actually believe that they're living up to their fullest potential in terms of creativity. And that's crazy, because if you think like that, having creative people in our business, or making our business an environment able and prone to creativity, it already sets you apart from competition. It gives you a few steps ahead of competition, because lots of people don't believe that they are creative. So if you have the more creative people and practices that you have in your own brand, that's going to set you apart from competition. Also, we hear a lot about creativity in marketing because I come from a family of marketing and advertising. I'm not into that business, but I grew up in advertising agencies. And obviously, I know how much creativity plays a role when it's in terms of selling or advertising. But how about generating solutions to our clients, which is essentially what we do as customer experience leaders, right? So McKinsey actually developed an award creativity score, actually tying and correlating the well-prestigious Cannes Lion Award, which is given annually for advertising and marketing excellence to the companies that win this prize. And they correlated and created this score, which actually analyzes what are the business practices that those companies share that make them get those awards every year. So not just the creativity, but what else do they do, right? What else do they invest in order to be creative and to get the award? So, and according to them, they actually had another study that said that creative leaders do outperform their peers in financial metrics. So 67% had above average organic revenue growth in their research. 70% had above average total return to shareholders, and more than 70% had above average net enterprise value. So, an earnings before interest and taxes included. So, it is clear that when you foster creativity, you get a return. There's no formula, no exact formula for that, but you can find more information about this, these studies that McKinsey conducted in the QR codes that are right below. So, knowing that, I have a few things that I want to share with you about why being creative and what creativity brings, like some of 5 main points that I want to share with you that I've seen throughout my career. So first thing, creative ideas are priceless because they come from and focus on human insights. Most of the times when we are discussing ideas, we're so tied up to metrics and KPIs and to real scenarios and to, you know, just things that we experience in a very siloed perspective. And that's not very helpful because we're very biased to analyze those things. But when we allow ourselves to expand our vision, we connect to customers' emotions. We connect to other people's emotions. And that's a very raw, but yet genuine way of collecting insight and to work on these insights that can provide and uncover new business drivers instead of being just tied up to what we're used to facts, numbers, so to being very rational. So sometimes we just need to expand our vision and allow ourselves to connect to the raw feedback, which sometimes seems to be very, very, very small or unimportant. And sometimes it will just bring something very new and a fresh perspective that will uncover a business driver that can bring so much result. Well, creative ideas may also create discomfort. Better yet, they will create discomfort. If they're creative enough, you're not going to be in the comfort zone. Allowing creativity to sink in is about challenging your own comfort zone, your beliefs, your certainties, because it's not about you, it's about the customer, it's about whoever buys from you. And we usually don't have the same perspective. And we also carry that pride in working in a brand. And like sometimes when we hear the feedback or when we hear the feedback that's supposed to help us generate ideas, sometimes we either take it for granted or we feel deeply touched, but in a way that it bothers us because it's somebody talking about our brand and we know that we want to give them the best. And so sometimes we don't take it very lightly and we forget that this discomfort is actually supposed to help us see on the other side, to see with another perspective and to help us, you know, try and find the fresh perspective that we need. That's not just going to solve things for us, but for our client, which is the most important stakeholder in this process, right? Well, that's very important too. And that's something I've always observed. And now I don't take it for granted because I've realized how much people sometimes don't pay attention. But creative ideas may come from or in unexpected, insignificant moments and ways, and they're not the best right off the bat. Sometimes people will just expect the gem of an idea like right off the bat, or else they're just going to say yes or no. And sometimes we try to be very practical and pragmatic, and it just cuts off the chance for us to build on top of the ideas that we have on the table. Like we need time to develop the ideas. We need to offer what I call more what if moments rather than just ignoring ideas just because they don't feel like the final product immediately. You know, you don't have to take more risks than you need if it doesn't make sense for you. You don't need to go overboard, but you can always go and test your ideas with MVPs, proof of concepts, and test your solutions, analyze your findings, test hard, test fast, and learn even faster. Once I've heard something that's very interesting. It takes around 10 to 12 stupid ideas to get a good one. So if in the first idea we say, nope, that doesn't make sense, nope, next, we're not going to build on top of that idea. And something that could have been a nice product, could have been something different, could have been something innovative, creative, and solve an actual problem that we have, it's actually discarded. And for us to just go back to that idea, since we already said no, sometimes it will just impede and not allow us to get to the bottom of what we need to get. So we need to build more what if moments. Instead of just saying no to an idea, we need to explore them and say, what if we did this instead of that? Or what if we tested this? Or what if we did this a little bit differently? But that's something that I call a fearless organization. When we have an environment that we say no all the time and that, we're always pointing out the bad ideas instead of just building on top of the not so great ideas, we're creating a fearful organization. People start to get scared to give ideas because they always feel like they're not good enough. So we can't do that. We need to create the space for people to build on top of the ideas given so that we can get to that final product. And for me, that's something that I see happening all the time because we just discard ideas and we just don't understand that we need to create. The creation process is a long, persistent, consistent one. And we need to stay on this road and we need to stay consistently and we need to be very perseverant or else we're just going to lose opportunities. The other thing that I have to share is creative ideas have the power to differentiate you from your competition. From the first reason, which I just told you, a lot of companies already feel like they don't have enough creative people. People don't feel creative enough and they don't feel like they're living to their full potential of creativity. And if you have people with this profile, with this skills, you're already setting yourself apart. But more than that, today, we talk about competitive barriers that are very blurry. So if your company today has some competitors, you can bet that 1 or 2 years from now, it's going to have a whole different set of competitors. So if you look at companies 20, 30, 50 years ago, they would compete with companies in the same industry. And today, everybody is a competition. Today, anyone can be your competitor. Anyone can provide a product that can compete with you. I'll give an example from my company. We work in the health industry. So with lots of health insurance products, there's a lot of banks now offering health insurance products. So 50 years ago, a bank wouldn't be my competitor, and now they are. So competitive barriers are now very blurry, and being brave and a visionary can serve you very well. There's another thing I heard, which I think it's very worth sharing with you, which is to be a winner, you need to have a long-term vision, and you also need to be flexible. It's somewhat contradictory because it tells you to have a long vision to, that you want to achieve, but you also need to be flexible because that vision might change throughout the way. And it's true. because the more creative you are, the more you understand there are different strategies to get to your vision. And sometimes you understand that that vision doesn't fit the company anymore, doesn't fit what you guys want anymore. So, especially because of the competition that arises every day, right? So, we need to be open and we need to have like this very well known sense of where we want to get, but we need to be open to the ways to get there. We need to be creative. We need to find different ways. We need to find different paths. And we need to have the people to walk this path, these paths with us. And they need to be creative because they're going to help us find the solution to the roadblocks. At last, you can measure your return on creativity and find a correlation between a result and a creative idea. And the way to do this is, first of all, knowing your clients, because when you draw or develop a creative solution, first of all, you need to know who you're developing it to. And once you know that you're developing a custom-made solution in a creative way to that specific public, then you can test. You can do a lot of hypothesis testing so that you can isolate the effect of the creative idea or ideas and test if this is what driving business results or if this is a new driver that we haven't considered before. And this will end up helping you getting a stronger sense of developing or developing better new products, services, and even finding out new business models to operate. So it's very important to test. Test. If you get it wrong fast and learn even faster. We can make mistakes. Being creative is not about having the best ideas. It's about building on top of the ideas that show up in our desk so that we can get to the gem of the idea, to the idea that's going to be the gem and the game changer. But we need to test, we need to make mistakes, and we need to learn. And now you ask me, okay, Mariana, how do we invest in creativity? And this is a quick talk to you guys. So I'm going to bring you 5 things that I would say are very essential to invest in creativity in a company, which are, first, you need to create and cultivate a corporate culture that fosters a creative workplace. Like I said, a fearless one as well, because you may say you're so creative and you're very open to new ideas and you're very open to think outside the box, but then if we shut off people's idea right off the bat, we're creating a fearful organization and people are not going to want to do that. And they're going to feel exposed. They're going to feel not at ease and very uncomfortable. And this is not the kind of discomfort that we want. We want the discomfort to test the idea, not to give the idea. So that's very important. Second thing is we need to recognize and eventually award, even if it's informal awards, creative ideas and behaviors, much like what we do with customer experience. Customer-centric behaviors need to be recognized and awarded. If I want a creative culture, I need to recognize behaviors like that. I need to recognize ideas like that. And I need to give them the power and the strength to be implemented. And I need to make this a new pattern of behavior. And for that, we need to recognize people, the ideas, teamwork that's trying to bring ideas to the table, creative ideas and solutions to the table. Third thing, we need to organize and structure the brainstorming process as well as the next steps to unfold these ideas and prioritize them, because sometimes we have a lot of stuff going on and we have a lot of openness in the culture to have creative ideas. But then if we don't know what to do with them or even to how to organize and structure the process of brainstorming, picking those ideas, unfolding them, prioritizing, implementing them, they're just going to be lost. And when we do that, we disengage people because they are going to forget, they're going to feel that their ideas were forgotten. So they're not going to be engaged to continue giving nice ideas, creative ideas. So we need to have some sort of methodology. And I'm not saying that we need to do this in a very restrict way, or it needs to be very with too much methodology. I'm just saying that we need to be a little bit more organized. We need to somehow, like, even if it's like a visual Kanban for us to have like the ideas um, displayed, or even like if it's a spreadsheet, we just need to structure it. We need to find what works for our companies in terms of structuring, because we don't want these ideas to get lost. And also because when we test, we need to have like we need to understand what we've tested before, so that we don't need to start everything from zero, right? We need to be creative, but we also need to be smart and take advantage of the things that we have tested before, so that we can create some sort of way of understanding this process. We also need to set aside some budget to invest in creative spaces, even if it's virtually speaking, because we need to have like this space in which people feel open to contribute with ideas, even if it's a meeting, a virtual room, or like a morning breakfast with the team, so that they can bring like the canvas of their ideas. We just need to create the opportunities for people to feel like, okay, is it the time now that I can bring my idea? Because that's not just going to start out of nowhere. We need to create spaces and opportunities, and even if it's virtual spaces, especially now during the pandemic. Also, and the last point, consider training people regularly in methodologies. And all methodologies that allow creativity somehow to be a part of the day-to-day work. So agile frameworks, double diamond, service design or design thinking, co-creation, everything that brings creativity as a tool or as an enabler. We should train people, because it's not their obligation to know. It's our obligation as a company to provide them and to give them tools to be more and more creative. Like I said, 50% of people don't find themselves being as creative people. So how can we teach them that creativity is just inside of everyone's mind, and that we all have some sort of creativity, even if it's to a higher or a lower degree, but we can contribute. And it's our job to help people to find this full potential, right? So consider training, consider setting some budget aside for training, corporate trainings, and to specialize your teams into doing this. And aside from that, I would just say that, you can start with a small group of people in the company to try and do this. You don't need to move the whole company to be the most creative people in the whole world. You can start with a small group of people and test this, and you can just start recognizing those ideas, and then, go and engage more and more people. But what I can tell you is that being creative will bring you results. And I can guarantee it, and I can bet on that. So I hope you all find the reasons to be creative and to find the way of investing in this in your organizations, and you will see the results. At last, October is also the official Breast Cancer Awareness Month, aside from obviously today, which is CX Day, and I'm very happy for that. But recently we heard the news that my mom is going through breast cancer. So I find this to be a very important message to go to be a part of my topics today. An early diagnosis can save your life. So in this QR code, you can find more information on breast cancer and awareness and prevention. And also you can find how to do your self-examination, visual tests, physical tests. And if you find something different, please book an appointment, visit a doctor as soon as possible, as every day counts. And an early diagnosis can save your life, just like it saved my mom's life. She's actually going through a very long treatment right now, but hopefully everything's going to be okay. And for the next talk, I'll be here with you guys celebrating her cure. But I hope that this message finds you all very well, and that you take care of yourselves. And just to remind you, this is not just for women, for men too, because men do get breast cancer as well. So please take care of yourselves. Please do your self-examination, and please check this, not just in October, but every month, okay? Every month, every week, whenever you have the chance. So hopefully you're all well. Thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you guys soon. Very nice hug, and hopefully everyone is safe. And for all of those who lost someone either to breast cancer or COVID, I send you a very, very big hug. Uh, and you're in my heart and my prayers. Okay, you guys, bye bye, kisses. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have an awesome CX day.